Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Fish, buddy, you're a jackass. I just want you to know that's how we're going to start our week, the first day of August. I love you, buddy. Terry, how was your weekend, man?
It was low-key.
Okay, that's good.
I stayed at the house most of the time, watched my son work in the garden, and I didn't. So, chilling out. Got the smoker back. You know, old Betsy gave up and died, and so I did some pork thing and some chicken thighs and some salmon. So it was good. That was great. But other than that, I was low key.
Hell yeah, Terry. That's a good way to spend a weekend. Speaking of the weekend, some unfortunate things happened over the weekend. Bill Russell passed away.
Yes, he did.
That was. Bill Russell was way before me. Champion, obviously, winner, right. True definition of a winner. But what he did off the court, I don't think we speak enough about.
No, we don't, and I think a lot of the off the court stuff is misconstrued. Bill Russell was a civil rights activist and leader. He did things with Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and unfortunately for him, he lived or played in one of the most racist cities in America. His daughter wrote something years ago where, you know, he's on top of the world, giving Boston championships and stuff, and so they went out for the weekend. When they came back, the N-word was written all over their house. Someone broke in, defecated in their bed, and it's something that didn't happen just once. It happened routinely. And so he had to put up with that. That's why, you know, even today, guys don't want to play in Boston necessarily. Stuff like that happened to D. Brown, who was a Boston Celtic. But Russell, you know, I fight even with myself about his greatness. I understand he won 11 titles. He was a great rebounder, great defensive player, probably the best defensive player of all time. But and I talked to old timers even older than me, and I just said that was the dark ages of the NBA. You know, players weren't as athletic. Games weren't even shown on TV. You had double headers. For instance, here at Cobo Arena, you could have the Pistons playing the Bulls, and then before then, maybe the Knicks are playing the Sixers, because attendance was down. The league, there was very little interest in the league. But, you know, still, Bill Russell's one of those guys where the younger players paid homage to him, talked about his greatness. And so anytime you can win 11 titles in anything, for instance, like the Rats, if the Rats win 11 titles, you guys are great.
Absolutely. Speaking of the Rats, we play Wednesday night. You guys should make it out this week. This week is going to be a good game.
Really?
Who are you guys playing against?
Playing the Munchers.
Oh.
The Munchers.
Yeah, that's their team name.
Oh, so you're only going to win by 10 runs this week.
We'll see.
Or it could go down to the wire.
Go the other way. Who knows? 9 in a row. Speaking of winning in a row, right? Tony Finau, back-to-back Rocket Mortgage Classic champion. Fish, you spent your weekend there, buddy.
I spent my Sunday there.
How was it?
It was fun. A lot of excitement. Saw some good shots. Saw Chip out of the bunker on 17. That was exciting.
Fish, I consider you and Westfall golf professionals.
Okay.
To an extent.
I appreciate that.
Or considering observers?
Considering the average PGA course level of difficulty, where does the Rocket Mortgage Classic, or really the Detroit Country Club, fall in that bracket? Doesn't seem like one of the more difficult courses.
No, it's probably one of the easiest ones.
That's kind of what I figured, but I figured I'd ask you guys so I don't come off as a jackass.
Yeah, I think it's one of the easier ones. The only thing that's somewhat tough for them is the greens, but everything else, there's not much trouble you can get into. It's relatively easy for them.
But if they wanted to make it harder, they could. They just choose not to. Like, if they put a major there, it'd be hell. But
So how does that
obviously they
work?
don't.
Let's say they decide in 2040 they're going to host a major, right?
That's not happening, by the way.
But theoretically, they have to revamp the entire course, yes?
Yeah, and I get more rough. You probably put some bunkers in, make the greens slicker. There's things you can do, but if there's going to be a major, it's going to be at Oakland Hills.
Yeah.
In this area,
Which is where it's going to.
Which is where it is, what,
Yeah.
2032 or 34?
Yeah,
yeah,
one
they got
is-
like 5 or 6 events, and they're not all majors, but U.S. Open. They have the amateurs
Yeah.
going there, nationals.
I
and-
believe 2 amateurs and 1 U.S. Open.
right.
I may be wrong, but
And
Fish?
I saw the Ryder Cup there.
Yes,
Absolutely.
04.
Absolutely.
USA!
Fish.
Well,
Terry
Europe won.
has a surprise for
Well,
you.
yes. Okay.
Terry, could you tell Fish what you did this weekend on
Here's
Sunday?
your surprise, Fish.
Okay.
I watched the 2 overtime periods of the Euro Championship between Germany and England. And I was thinking about Fish as I was watching. I said, boy, it's probably only 2 of us that come into this building that are watching it right now, me and young Fish. But you probably missed it because you're at the golf.
Yeah, I watched it after. I was looking at the scores though. I was at the golf. It was a good game. It was.
England won, right?
They did.
Well,
Yes.
they finally brought it home.
Well, in the women, but yes, they brought it home.
It still counts.
Well, yeah, it still counts.
You know what's funny? I noticed something trending on Twitter.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not a bad thing.
Oh, okay.
It's, this is why you invest in women's sports,
Oh, boy.
you know? And, like, I was thinking to myself,
Get
I'm
ready,
like,
Flannel Sam.
well, no, I'm just thinking to myself, that's probably not the best example to bring up, but that is a world sport, right? Soccer is appreciated and loved by women.
It is. And they
In
probably
England.
celebrated all night in
Well,
London.
it was hosted in England, and England were in the final.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I think it's amazing. I think women's soccer is probably the most competitive at the top of any women's sport anyways.
Whoa, what about women's tennis?
No, women's tennis was dominated by Serena for the longest time. In the U.S. women's soccer, correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, the U.S. women's they're amazing, but you still had Brazil, Germany, England, you still had very good teams.
Yeah, but USA usually wins majors.
Yeah, they won the last
World
2 World
Cup, the
Cups.
Olympics.
But they don't play in the Euro. Yeah, I guess.
Well, they're
They
not
don't
in
play
Europe.
in the Euro.
They're not in Europe, Adam. Did you know that?
I know. It's like always one of the things I hated. I hate that. But again, that's why it's the World Cup, and then they have the Euros, and what is it, Copa America?
Yeah. No, that's South America. CONCACAF.
CONCACAF.
I don't know if they have
Excuse
anything
me.
for the women.
Well, no, isn't the Copa played by the Americas,
Yeah,
right?
they have a Copa tournament too.
Yeah, but that's mainly South America. They just did
Oh,
once.
the U.S. doesn't play in that tournament?
No, they did once
No.
where the men, they had USA and Mexico in it 2016.
That is stupid.
But
They should have them play instead of CONCACAF, whatever the hell it is. Anyways. I see you guys talking about video games in the chat. Fun fact. The 2nd July of 2023, college football makes its return to consoles near you, if you're a video game guy.
Are you?
Used to be. I don't really have time anymore. But
You gonna buy it?
I'll definitely get my hands on it, yeah. College football, I love college football just in general, so excited for that. We'll see how it goes, but we got a good show coming up. We got the Tyrell Crosby allegations coming up at 8:15, 8:45. Terry, you're gonna share a unique story.
I don't
On the
know if it's
Pistons
unique
walkout.
anymore, but I've talked about it several times. But every time I see something about the walkout, every publication, whatever you want to call it, leaves out a major detail about why the walkout happened. And I bought this Michael Jordan tribute magazine, and it just said, for no reason, the Pistons walked out on the Bulls in 1991 when they were swept. No
9
reason.
are those they're probably Bulls publications though?
Well, they're
Yeah, I think
supposed to
that's
be. They're not supposed to be that, but
It's
I'm sure
bias.
Michael Jordan has his hands and
It's
stuff.
very biased. It's very biased. Top of the hour, 9 o'clock, we'll talk to you about Amani Oruwariye and why he may be set for another breakout season. And, of course, I think one of the underlying questions that every Detroit Lions fan is asking themselves internally, they may not say publicly, but is it different this time? It looks different. It feels different. Is it actually different this time? And can this regime do it? We'll get to that at 9:17. Owen joins the show 9:30. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. But before we go, I do want to wrap up one thing before we get to Tyrell Crosby.
Okay.
So over the weekend, I went to an event hosted by the Detroit Lions podcast. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jeff Risden and Chris.
I am.
So they hosted an event, and honestly, they did a great job, phenomenal job raising money for St. Jude's. I don't know. I get like all, choked up when it comes to,
which is good. It shows that you have compassion.
Yeah, it shows you have emotion.
Beings.
Appreciate it.
He has emotion.
Appreciate it, Terry. But I thought it was cool. They brought out Jerry Jacobs. He spoke for probably 15, 20 minutes, took pictures with fans after, autographs. Cool dude. He spoke a lot about the regime, how it's different, how when he walked in, he wasn't really expecting much, and the relationship with the coaches. Aaron Glenn, when he first played for Aaron Glenn, he dropped the ball in week 2, and he went to Aaron and said, "Hey, AG, like the next time you put me in, I'm going to make it right." And then I believe it was week 4 or 5, Jerry Jacobs had his breakout game after being sat for a week or 2. So, just good inside stories. It really confirms that the coaching staff is what they're being advertised as player coaches. Players love to play for them. Players love to communicate with them. Whether or not they win, we'll get to that conversation later. But I found it very interesting that you had a panel of Justin Rogers, Dan Miller, Jeff Risden, yet Chris, you had even Jerry Jacobs, and it wasn't all the same, but they were all hinting at the same thing of, we've never seen this before. And who knows? This may be a whole new form of disaster, Terry. But
maybe, I'm falling for the fake too. But let me warn you. Let me warn you. The best Lion practices in history, according to the players, we're talking to him, were under Rod Marinelli.
Practice warriors.
Yeah, they talked about how great practice was, and they didn't say things were different, but they just said practices were great. And I joke, well, you guys are practicing against each other, so how competitive can we don't know if you're good or not. And ended up not being good. But the thing that I've noticed is two-man Lion players are saying how it's different. And also look at the enthusiasm on their faces when they talk. They're not just saying,
their faces are lit up.
Yeah, no, they're not. Things are different. No, they're like, yeah, things are different, and this is why. And even Corey is excited when he goes out there. He's different. So we're either falling for the biggest fake in sports history, or it's different.
I think a majority are. I wouldn't even call it a fake yet, but I think a majority are leaning that way. I really do. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, Tyrell Crosby launches quite the accusation against the Detroit Lions. Terry, I'm calling BS, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But before we go, I got to tell you about the Mulligan, brought to you by Gypsy Vodka. The Mulligan, your go-to drink of the summer. Support local, support Michigan distilleries, iced tea, lemonade, vodka, 8% alcohol. The Mulligan is your go-to drink, whether you're on the golf course or you're having a good time in the backyard with your friends like Mel Tucker was this weekend. Try the Mulligan today. And as always, please drink responsibly.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. all at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Chili Peppers Tan. Join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. You'll get the best deals, the hottest balls, and they will beat all competitors by $5. Chili Peppers has the hottest balls, hottest deals, and the darkest tans, and 26 locations in the great state of Michigan. And they have more on the way. Go to Chili Peppers Tan today. Chili Peppers Tan!
All right, look, Tyrell Crosby has every right to be frustrated as a human, as an individual, with how his career has gone so far. Having said that, go fuck yourself.
Wow.
We're just going to start there.
Start.
Oh, man.
So he
Love
comes
that.
out with, they truly just don't care about the players. Bro, it's you. They don't care about you, and nor should they, number one. Number two, it was allegedly a misdiagnosis. Now, as someone that has suffered from misdiagnosis, Terry, I totally understand his frustration.
Were you misdiagnosed?
I was told I had a knee sprain my senior year before football season, and that a 3 to 4 week recovery period was all I needed, and I would be right back on the field.
Okay.
3 to 4 weeks later go by. I've done a ton of rehab. I don't feel a damn bit better. But they're telling me I'm fine. They're telling me I'm fine. I don't feel fine, but they're telling me I'm fine. So I go out there. Not even 10, 15 plays into the game, my knee just totally gives up. So what had happened was, it was already a torn ACL and MCL. And during the game, I tore the PCL. So there's basically nothing much left in my knee. So I get it. It's frustrating, but that seems a bit harsh. And do we all remember this time last year what happened within the organization? They let go their head trainer. And I'm sure it had to do with Tyrell Crosby. But regardless, they addressed it. They got rid of the head doctor, who had New England ties anyway, so he can go, no problem. But to come out and say that this organization, Brad Holmes, Sheila Hamp, Dan Kemp, they don't care about the players. Dude, shut the hell up. Look, I get it. You're frustrated. You're not happy that you're not in the NFL anymore. But you're the same dude. Wasn't he homesick?
All right, but this is not total BS. And I'll tell you why. This is an NFL problem. This is not a Detroit Lions problem. The NFL doesn't care about its players. The NFL misdiagnoses things just to get people on the field. One time we were talking to Calvin Johnson, and matter of factly, Calvin said that he had a concussion last week. The team was, oh no, Calvin didn't have a concussion. Oh no, that never happened. He had a concussion. I've talked to guys in not just the Lions and the Pistons particularly, who have said they get diagnosed by people outside of the organization because they don't trust them, because all they want is for them to be on the field. Now, I'm willing to bet this happens with the Las Vegas Raiders, the Giants. This is an NFL problem. Do they care about their players? No. They look at them as commodities. They look at them, what can we do to get them on the field? And then they feed us in the media BS. Oh, we're taking good care of our players, and we care about our players, and here's what we're doing, and blah, blah, blah. No. They're taking shortcuts to get these players on the field. And if their careers are shortened, so be it. I like to tell the story about James Stewart, a Lions running back. This guy, during the preseason game 1, they needed him for the season. For whatever reason, they ran him 8 times in the first quarter of a preseason game. Blew out his knee. Never heard from him again. Well, I think he did play again, but it was never the same. So that's, if you really cared about James Stewart, and he was really an integral part of your team, why would you run him 8 times in the first quarter of a preseason game? I think it was the first one of the season, too. So they're trying to demonstrate something. So is Tyrell Crosby whining a little bit? Probably. But does he have some legitimate beefs? Probably, but not with the Lions, but with the National Football League.
Okay. Quote, I wouldn't want to play for that organization, just knowing what I know, and just how poorly they treat their players. Look, I get it. You're frustrated. You're not happy. You went from starting right tackle to probably out of the league, but you had a spinal injury. What? What are they supposed to do? Sit back and... Come on, Tyrell, you can do it. We'll wait for you, bud.
No. What they're supposed to do, if he has a spinal injury, which is pretty serious, they're supposed to sit him.
That's an NFL and NFLPA problem. Right.
Instead, they are pushing him on the field. Then they fined him because he didn't want to play. But but my understanding, he played anyway because that's what players do. They shut up and just kind of play, and then in hindsight, it's something he probably shouldn't have done.
I think it's BS. I just do. His issue has nothing to do with the Detroit Lions. If he's not injured, he doesn't say a damn thing. And yes, in the NFL, do trainers pump you up to get you ready to play? Absolutely. But last I checked, you got to play to get a paycheck. So it's not like it's one side forcing your hand where they're saying, well, hey, man, if you don't play, they want to play as bad as the team wants them to play.
That is true. But they make you feel guilty if you say, you know what, I want to sit out a game or I want to sit out 2 games. Particularly a guy like him, they make him feel guilty. Now, if it had been Matthew Stafford, if it had been a high-profile player, maybe they would have treated it differently. Maybe they said, okay, this guy's got a serious injury. We're going to hold him back. In the grand scheme of things, who is Tyrell Crosby?
He's
just another dude.
He made probably the same amount of impact for the Detroit Lions as Fish had.
Okay. So then, a guy like that, he's expendable.
I'm not buying it at all. To me, it sounds more like an NFL problem, an NFLPA problem. That's what it sounds like.
But who's part of the NFL? The Lions. See, he doesn't have a wide perspective. He probably maybe doesn't know, but he should know this, that it happens with other organizations. All you got to do is talk to his buddies who plays for Denver or something else. So he probably didn't have that perspective. So is he whining? Yes. Is he telling the truth? I believe him.
Oof.
But this is not a singular Lions issue.
I mean, this is the same guy who set out voluntary workouts through spring of what? 2021? And then he suffered a hamstring injury and he was forced to miss the preseason. Like, it's tough when a middle-of-the-pack character, low work ethic guy comes out and throws out these type of allegations.
Well,
could he be right?
That's unfair to call him low effort. We don't know that. The man was injured.
This is directly from his coaches, not from me.
The coaches lie? Dude, come on now. The coaches lie a lot of times when it comes to injuries. That's why they don't talk to the media. They don't talk to fans about injuries. They just kind of keep it under tabs, and they just hope it just goes away, and at some point this person can play. So I don't buy the. I think it was too convenient for them to say, well, he was low effort and stuff. No, he had an injury. He didn't want to play. And the first thing out of coaches' mouths, he don't really want to play. It's low effort.
It appears
that happens all the time.
It appears we have breaking news.
Oh, I love it.
Potentially.
Is it from Corey or
No,
somebody else?
no,
it's not from Corey.
Lions are gonna do great,
I love
guys.
that. I love Terry's enactment of Corey. Apparently, Deshaun Watson has been suspended
Not a
Okay.
shocker.
for 6 games.
Okay.
And I think it's the right move. I actually think it might be too much.
Too much?
Are they counting last year as a suspension?
That's why.
I
So
think
this is what I'm considering. Hear me out. He did miss all of last season. You did allow the Cleveland Browns to make this trade, right? The NFL approved the trade.
Yeah.
Right.
They did give him a fully guaranteed contract. I don't think any of that ever happens without the Browns at least getting a under-the-table guarantee he's not missing this season.
Yeah, because they didn't get that guarantee. Then they are the stupidest organization.
So if it's six, I think they appeal and they go to 4. That's just my gut feeling. Face value right now.
So you think they win the appeal?
I think it's fair. I just do. I think it's fair. He missed all of last season.
So in other words,
he settled 3 more.
It's a 23-game suspension.
Yeah, for a guy who, let's just be honest, those are some serious allegations.
Yes.
I didn't see that 23-game, 24-game suspension with Ray Rice, with who's the dude, Greg Hardy. I didn't see any of that. So I can live with it. I can live with it. Now, if you want to be on the side where, well, last year doesn't count. It was an illegal battle. Nah, I don't know, Terry. He missed the whole season. Granted, they were still paying him in Houston, but he settled all of his cases. I believe he's settled 3 more today, by the way. So I think they're all done. I think 6 games, not bad. Not bad. I think they appeal, though, and it goes down to 4.
I think he got off easy. Even if you want to say he was suspended last year, he still got paid.
Well, he wasn't technically suspended, but he missed all of last season.
He still got paid, though?
There could have been a wink suspension.
Yeah.
That we don't know about. But he got paid last year. He's getting paid this year.
But he's not getting paid for the first 6 games.
When you have a fully guaranteed contract,
you get paid no matter what?
I think he gets paid.
Okay.
So this is an argument I see brought up a lot. Tactical Puma brings it up. Calvin Ridley got a full year. What a joke. Okay, here's the difference. There is not a standard domestic violence policy,
which
or
there
sexual
needs to
assault policy that the NFL has, where it's outlined and says, if you violate this rule once, it's 6 games. If you violate it twice, it's 16 games. If you violate it a 3rd time, you're out of the league. There isn't anything like that for this. For betting on a team, no matter what, if it's $1 or $1,500, like it was for Calvin Ridley, that is a rule. They're attached to the rule is a disciplinary rule. And that disciplinary rule reads, you get suspended, non-negotiable, a full year. As stupid as I think it is, it's a rule. And as stupid as I think it is that we don't have a sexual assault, domestic violence, fully laid out structure or suspension is irrelevant. Because what did we just learn today in court? That out of all the women that accused him, they were able to settle every single one of those cases. He's not guilty. Sorry. I know you don't want to hear it, but he's not guilty. Not because he didn't do it. Not because he didn't do it. But a settlement is not an admission of guilt. Sorry. And you can look at in the public, oh, well, obviously he did it and they just paid to cover it up. You could be right.
That's usually the way it works.
Usually. And you know what? That very well could be the reason why it happened. But I don't want to hear guilty or not guilty. He's neither. They settled. They agreed not to resolve the issue in public. Fine. 6-game suspension? Fine. Sorry. That's your legal system. You want to cry about it? You go change it. But I'm not going to sit here and complain about the legal system. I'm just not. That's the reality. He settled. I am not going to bring up a single damn thing about his past during this football season. It's done. Suspended 6 games. Once those 6 games are done, Deshaun Watson, welcome to Cleveland. Have a good day.
See, that's not the legal system. That's the NFL legal system.
No. That's the legal system.
No. And
you're talking
like
about the suspension or the settlement?
I'm talking about the settlement.
The settlement has everything to do with our legal system. Those are their lawyers and his lawyer.
I understand that, but they got the money. They want this man on the field by any means necessary. So the NFL got what it wants. The Cleveland Are they the Guardians? No, the Cleveland Browns got what they wanted. The bottom line, they wanted this man on the field, no matter what he did or didn't do. They don't. NFL doesn't care about women getting sexually assaulted. That's why there's no. I'm not going to say legal. That's why there's no suspension guidelines. It's just not important to them. Betting on the game is important.
Oh, Gerald, you are the dumbest of dumb motherfuckers I've met in my life. Holy hell.
Oh, no.
So Adam agrees that OJ was innocent, right? OJ was proven in court innocent, you motherfucker. Deshaun Watson settled. There's a big difference. One was determined by a group of individuals. The other was settled privately. Both matters are completely different, completely separate. And no, genius, I'm sure we all think OJ did it. It's kind of obvious. But OJ didn't settle in court. He killed somebody. He didn't settle with the family and say, hey, look, I'm going to pay you $20 million. And you're just going to agree that we're not going to file charges here. That's how it works. Jesus Christ. We'll continue the conversation.
They got OJ at the end.
Yeah, life caught up to him. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll continue the Deshaun Watson conversation. I want to get to Michigan State a little later on after. Can they catch Ohio State in recruiting? But before we go, Fish, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency?
Sure. The Sports Marketing Agency, SMA, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse on their new podcast, This is the F Word. Helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is. This is the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
If you want to beat Adham at any game in the whole wide world, Foaling Warehouse. Just beat him. Murder Adham at Foaling Warehouse because he sucks at everything. He doesn't know anything, so I don't know. Foaling Warehouse is in Hamtramck, Michigan, home of the original football bowling game, Chris and Noni Hut. We met them back in November. 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play or $120 lane reservations up to 10 people. There's a mystery beer machine. Throw $2 in there. And maybe if you have a magic $2 bill, one of the rare ones, throw that in there, or just 2 singles. And you can get something, a good beer, hopefully. Full bar as well. Check it out, foalingwarehouse.com today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Deshaun Watson suspended 6 games. Terry, the NFLPA came out with a statement the other day where that they would respect whatever decision was made by the federal judge. So, I'm starting to think about this. I don't think they appeal. And if it's, let's just say it's 6 games, right? They don't appeal, it doesn't go down. I think it's fair. And again, guys, we need to understand how the legal system works, whether you like it or not, whether it makes your panties go up in a bunch or not. He's settled, Terry. He's not innocent, and he's not guilty. Is that hard to understand? He's not innocent.
It is, but
and he's not guilty.
People who follow this case in the back of their mind, they will say innocent or guilty.
That's just not true. But that's not the truth. That's hearsay. Because in the court of law, neither was determined.
Yeah, I know, but
I know we know, Terry.
I am one of those people. When you settle for But you know what? We don't know what the settlement is. If the settlement was like $5 or something, that's just get out of my face. I didn't do it, but I'm just going to pay you off anyway. But if it's a larger settlement, he probably did it. The NFL just wants things like this to go away. Deshaun Watson wants things just to go away. And I'm sure, after he answers questions, if you ask him about this next week or the week after, he's going to say, I just want to talk about the Cleveland Browns and our chances of winning a championship. Because then this just goes away. This is all they want. They want it to disappear.
Look, if you guys want to be mad at anybody, how about you be mad at the NFL for not having a clear suspension guideline for domestic violence and sexual assault allegations. But here's the problem. The reason you can't have a minimum or a guaranteed suspension in this ruling, and why they relied on the conduct policy, Terry, is, what if they are falsely accused? Then what? Let's say I accuse Tom Brady of sexually assaulting me. Immediate 6-game suspension for Tom, based on the rules. How does that make any sense?
Well, it wasn't just one person.
I understand. In theory, even if it's 10 falsely accused, then what? I'm just saying. He's not innocent. He's not guilty. They settled. We move on. Whatever. Those women are agreeing to move on. Right or wrong. And if it was so damning, I could make the case. Go to court. Go to public court. But do you want to be in a public court? Do you want to be on a public trial? It'll be a high-profile trial. There's a million reasons for both sides to just settle and move on with their lives.
Usually, when there's when you go to court, the woman is the one that ends up being on trial. She's got to, prove stuff, and her whole life is scrutinized just as much as the person who is accused of doing things. So that's why a lot of times women are like, you know what? I just want out of this because I don't want to be on trial. I think the woman is more scrutinized than the men in a lot of cases.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the awful world we live in. Look at Johnny Depp. We put Johnny Depp through hell for 5 years. And then we found out he was dating a crazy bitch. Well, he was married to her, excuse me. He married a crazy bitch. She shat on the bed. What are you supposed to do? Oh, now oh, Johnny, we're so sorry.
You know what I said about that case? Screw Johnny Depp. Screw his woman. I didn't give a damn. I don't know why that became such a big story. The hell, man, they're having problems. So what? I don't care.
Gary Lewis says, Watson wasn't falsely accused by 21 women. I know Adam understands that, but it's a bad look for the NFL that it's ongoing. Yeah, I agree. It's a bad look. It is a bad look. And you know what? Even if it's my opinion, which is irrelevant in law, but let's say my opinion is I do think he did it, I do think that he did do it. Let's say I do have that opinion. What the hell does it matter? They agreed to settle. They agreed, which means he's not innocent nor guilty, which means it didn't happen or did is irrelevant. It's not your opinion. The law is not your opinion.
All right, but in the public court, which is different than the legal system, it's not over with a lot of people because they'll look at Deshaun Watson. Yep, he did it. He's guilty. Or he's not. That's not legal. That's just public opinion.
And that's fine. That's fine. The public wants to be stupid. That's on them. That's not my problem. That's not my
being
problem.
Stupid.
It is.
You have an opinion on everything. Yeah. You're not going to have an opinion on... Just because you have an opinion on
I think he
Deshaun
did it
Watson
is irrelevant to the case,
means
though.
You're stupid? That doesn't mean you're
just
stupid.
Just because I think he did it, right? Just because I may believe that he did do it, doesn't mean that I have the right to sit there and now look at him and accuse him moving. Oh, we all know you did it, Deshaun. Well, you got off easy. No, it's not how it works. It's not how it works. I'm done with Deshaun Watson. That's it. That's it.
That's exactly how it works.
No, it's not.
That's sports. That's sports talk radio. That's public opinion. That's the way everything works. For instance, if let's say Deshaun Watson
Nobody
threw
cares.
3 interceptions.
Nobody cares, though. Nobody cares, and I'll tell you why. Because by week 7, when this guy's back and he's playing at, I would say, a top 12, top 10 level, nobody's going to care. And you think the NFL cares? They don't. But
NFL
the end of the
doesn't
day,
care about women.
But the end... Look, this is going to sound super ignorant. Their job isn't to care about women. Their job isn't to care about women. Their job is to put on a good product on the field.
Okay, but their job's to care about the
Shut the hell up,
fans.
Fish. Shut the hell up and let me finish what I'm saying. Do they need to implement rules that hold their players more accountable, that protect women? Absolutely. And it's not even that they can protect women. It's to protect themselves and protect the women that watch the sport. That's a different conversation. But when you have Deshaun Watson, who is accused, I believe it's over 20 women. I don't know the exact number, excuse me. Could be 23, 24, but regardless. When you have him come out with a case like this, all the accusers, that's not a good look. I agree, it's not. That's just not a good look in general. Forget the NFL. But the huge but in this case is that they settled. And when they settled, and they all agree, hey, you know what? We don't want to do this anymore in public. We're all good. We all agree that this is it. This is the settlement payout, whatever it is. We're done. We're not going to talk about this ever again. Okay? Why am I going to talk about it? It's not my right. He's not innocent nor guilty, and I'm moving on. And so should the NFL. He's suspended like he should be for violating the player conduct policy, and that is it.
You have the right to talk about it. You have the right to think about it, because that's what sports fans do. And, you know, and Deshaun Watson, you don't think when he's on the road, somebody's going to scream something derogatory towards him in regards to this case. So, yes, in a way, the NFL is making it disappear, but the public, some in the public, particularly people who hate the Cleveland Browns, will not let it.
Can I ask you something?
Let it go.
Can I ask you something? Again, I think domestic violence and sexual assault probably should be separate, because when you are accused of domestic violence, it's, let's just be honest, typically easier to prove immediately, right away, I would say in a short fashion, right? The Ray Rice footage, Kareem Hunt, the Seattle tight end, if I remember correctly, you typically find out right away. When you accuse somebody of sexual assault, that is quite the allegation. And for you to have a minimum, a standard, we're going to suspend you immediately. Once we find out, that doesn't work. Again, could be false. They could settle. They could go to court. And he could be proven not guilty or guilty. All which takes years, typically, 1.5 to 2 years to do. Like we've seen with Deshaun Watson. I think it's tough for the NFL to have a specific rule guideline in place. I don't know how they do it. I don't think it's fair to the player or to the league.
They could if they really want to. If they thought it was important enough, they could.
But how do you execute it, right? Let's say I tell you that they implement the rule. And if you're accused of sexual assault, it's a 3-game suspension, minimum. Or you're suspended indefinitely without pay until the case is resolved.
It's like any other case. You investigate, you have your hearings, and if it takes a year to find out the truth, then it takes a year.
And you don't play for a year.
No, you play.
You play then that I'm good with.
Until they figure this whole thing out. That's the way things work in sports.
I would prefer it that way, because I don't want to hear indefinite suspension. We're going to put you to the side until it's resolved.
All right, when a player is suspended for not sexual assault, it could be sexual assault for anything, they appeal and they play until things are resolved. That happens all the time, and the same thing can happen here.
You know, you guys are really some of the dumbest people I've met in my life. Tim France, you're one of them. Ridley should only be suspended for a maximum of 2 games. Tim, do you not understand what would happen? Do you not understand the repercussions of having players bet on games? Players that know the game plan going into the week, know which player is going to get the most targets, knowing if they have an upper hand against an opposing team. There's a reason why family members, cousins, no, you're not allowed to bet. You're not allowed to bet with that information. And it's a rule, you jackass. It's a rule. It says if you bet on a game, year suspension, automatic. He should only be suspended for 2 games. I have zero pity for Calvin Ridley. As it's stupid as it is, and as dumb as you may think it is, 1, it's a rule, and 2, it protects the game. Because for any reason, we all saw, remember what happened with, what was it, Tim Donahue in basketball? Mm-hmm. That is the last thing any professional sports league wants. You don't want your players or individuals working in the office.
Because sports fans are supposed to believe what they see happen on the field is legit. There's no it's not being tainted, it's not being ruled against, but still people always accuse leagues of screwing their team. Not other teams, but theirs, because you look at it from a sports fan slant. But the league wants to make sure or make it appear that there's no shenanigans going on. So that's really important for the integrity of the sport.
Integrity of the sport, I mean, it's everything to the sport. And yes, they have multi-million-dollar deals with the casinos and with the betting operators. But you know what? Those are licensing agreements as well. Hey, you can use our logos on your app. You can bet on player. You can get all this information. Yes, the league makes money. Don't the players make money? Aren't the players agreeing to a CBA where they can make money based off the NFL's revenue model? Stop it.
Everybody benefits.
Everybody's such a pussy about this. He violated a clear rule. He should be suspended, and he was. Move on. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we got some footage from the first day of camp. Both Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell singled out Malcolm Rodriguez and James Houston as players that they were excited to see in today's first day of practice with pads. So we'll get to that in just a bit. But before we go, I got to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Get to Lady Jane's. Open 10-8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Lovely folks at Odds Trader here to help you win some money. OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for all your game day bets, play-by-play update, live scores, and multiple or the best prices from multiple sports books. Go to Odds Trader today if you want to bet on some baseball today. You got NFL coming up. But by the way, Thursday is the first game, Hall of Fame game. So all you NFL fans rejoice. There's also CFL, better football on Thursday as well. Soccer, so much great action to bet on. Go to oddstrader.com for all of the best bets today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. The guys are having a good time out at Allen Park with the Lions camp underway. Alex, if you may, this is a video of the first day of pads. All right, players are hitting, and Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn both pointed out James Houston and Malcolm Rodriguez as some of the players that they are excited to see. Let's check it out.
It's on us now, so if we can give them a little excitement, a little joy, then that's what we're going to try to do.
Here it is, another day of Detroit Lions training camp, day 5 of training camp, but this time is going to be a little bit different because not only is it going to be open to the public, this is the first practice in pads. So now we're going to get a real look at how these guys are looking for the upcoming season. Now, if there's one person who I'm going to be focusing on today, it's going to be DeAndre Swift. Last week, I talked about how his speed looked. I said that he looked even quicker than he did before. But that was without pads. Let's see if he has that same type of speed and quickness in pads. But before we get into that, every morning media session has to kick off with Dan Campbell. Let's see what he had to say.
Yeah, look, we've already had a number of the players that are like, man, when we go on pads? And then I'm sure when they're not with us, they're like, man, I'm glad we're not going pads. But so they're excited. They're ready to go. And look, man, the level has been every day, you know, we've had a little bit more of a crowd out there. And so that just gives them a little more energy. And so today to have the fans out there, they're going to be, your pads and the fans are out there. They're going to be going, man. And it does. It gives you quite a bit of energy and makes you want to put on a show for those guys. And so, man, we're looking forward to it. I said this all along. I do believe this team is you know, it's all about us first, the coaches, the players, as it pertains to us, taking care of our business. But, man, we want to give this city something, to give these fans something to be proud of. We do. I said that from day one, and they deserve it. And so it's on us now. So if we can give them a little excitement, a little joy, then that's what we're going to try to do.
That's all for right now, guys. Make sure that you are following Woodward Sports on Twitter and following me, Corey E. Woods, on Twitter as well, because all throughout training camp, all throughout practice today, I'll be bringing photos, videos, quotes, just giving you a little bit of everything that's in the bag. Make sure you stay tuned and make sure that you just let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you don't want to see. Till then, this is Corey Woods, the Woodward Sports Network. Check you guys next time.
All right, we're back here on the morning show. That was our Detroit Lions.
I'm a little disappointed. We didn't get high pitch Corey. He had bass in his voice.
He's not there yet. He's not there yet.
Okay.
Right? It's a little early. Still professional. Once they win a game or two, we'll see high pitched Corey.
Said the Lions are 3-1 now. Woo! He did fall for one fake though.
What was that?
In his stand up, he was talking about a player, how he looks faster than he expected. The NFL is notorious for this. What they do is they draft guys, and the first few weeks, no pads. Everybody looks faster when you're not in pads, and so, and coaches always say, "Oh, guy is faster he's faster than I thought he was." Today is when you measure, is he really fast, or is he as fast as you thought he was? Because now he's going to be in pads. Maybe in 2 weeks he'll be a little bit slower because they've been hitting for 2 or 3 weeks. So I just, the NFL is notorious. You draft a guy, bring him out, run him, work him out, and you always say, this guy is faster than I thought he was.
Yeah, I mean, we hear that every camp. So
Every
Jelani
camp
Tavai was
and
faster
every-
than we expected.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Jelani? Oh, God. Look, you know what's interesting, Terry? I know there's a lot of optimism going into the year. Most of it rightly so. But that linebacking core isn't in the best situation. And when you look at what they have on the interior, if Aleem McNeil goes down, you don't have a linebacking crew that'll stuff the run for you. That is one part of this defense. I think the pass defense will be a lot better than it was last year. But the run defense, that's questionable. That is questionable. One, if Aleem goes down, and two, let's say a team does get to the second level, right? They've made it past the front four. They're ready to hit the linebackers. Well, you don't have the most capable linebackers on the field.
You don't, but the defensive line should be good. And even if they get through the second level, if the front line can slow them down a little bit, chip them or get a hold of the leg for a second, then that would help the linebacking core. So what the Lions are hoping for is that this defensive line is dominant. Not good, but it has to be dominant. In order not to make the linebackers exposed. And that defensive front, they have to do the same thing with the secondary. Secondary is not that good, but if these guys and Hutchinson and the rest and Aline, if they're putting pressure on the quarterback, guess what? Secondaries may not be good, but they're going to look better. They're going to look decent.
So this is an interesting comment. The offseason was very disappointing in addressing the linebacker position. Why does it seem like every regime just doesn't see the need to address them? So that's a really good point, but it comes with a huge but. Linebackers aren't one of the more premier positions in football. Would you have rather the Lions taken Josh Pascal in the second round and Jameson Williams at 12, or would you have preferred them to take a linebacker at 12 or a linebacker at pick 46?
I think the NFL has decided the front line is more important than linebackers. Even if you have subpar linebackers, you can survive. Like, take a middle linebacker, for instance. They're important, but you can get a guy, he's got 145 tackles, and the defense still sucks. But if you get someone on the front line with 65 tackles, 15 for loss, 4 or 5 quarterback sacks, he can make a bigger difference on that defense than the linebacker can. Because a lot of times when the linebacker's tackling somebody, they've already gained 5 or 6 yards.
And that's one of the that's one of the more severe issues this team will have, and not will have that, and most teams have, right? You can have a Darius Leonard for the first 2, 3, 4 years of his career. Phenomenal player. Doesn't do much for you at the linebacker position. You surround him with a better defense, better corners. Oh, you start to have a really good defense, and it's nice to have a Darius Leonard. But you start building from the front, right? You build with the defensive line. Lee McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, Charles Harris. You start in the interior. You start on the edges, and then you work your way out to the corners, and then you can talk about linebackers and safeties. It's really your pass rushers, your interior linemen, your corners, and then you figure out the rest.
Right. The Lions had holes everywhere. So now when you're trying to say, okay, what do I fix first? Because you can't fix everything. So they decided to fix the offensive line. And then on defense, they decided, okay, Aaron Rodgers, maybe Kirk Cousins to a certain extent, could kill us if they're just back there patting the ball. So now we got to cut that off. We got to attack the other team's strength. So how are you going to do that with a linebacker? Probably not, unless you have a linebacker in a Lawrence Taylor position where he's going to be blitzing all the time. But you don't want to do that. So the best way to attack the opponent's offense is with edge rushers. They doubled down on edge rushers. They made sure their interior line was stout. That's how you win. You don't win with good linebackers and a terrible front. But you can win with a good front and terrible linebackers. You have a better shot. So that's why they did things that way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Top of the hour coming up. Amani Oruwariye set for a breakout season. Terry, can Michigan or Michigan State catch Ohio State in recruiting? We'll get to all that and more coming up top of the hour. But before we go, Fish, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at Cintron?
The lovely energy drink beverage. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings hockey team. Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry, classic, or sugar-free all-in-one pack. Pre-order your Cintron pack sample 6-pack sampler box today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron. Let's go Red Wings!
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Open all summer long. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, there will be basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art installations, live music, food trucks, and more. Free Wi-Fi so you can work from the park. Bedrock Detroit brings you the Monroe Street Midway. Summer is better at the Monroe Street Midway. Check it out anytime. It is a good time. We were there a few weeks ago. We had a blast. Ryan Armani had a great shot. It's a good time down there. You guys got to check it out. Terry, before we get into Amani Oruwariye or even Michigan State and Ohio State for football, I can't go another minute without mentioning Michigan State landing Xavier Booker over the weekend.
Yes.
The number 3 recruit in the country, number 1 in some polls.
Number 3 in 24/7
rankings. Yep. He chose Michigan State over Auburn, Cincinnati, Georgia.
Oh, you got to mention just one school though.
Gonzaga, dozen other schools. Kentucky.
No, you didn't mention these school.
Michigan.
Duke.
Duke.
Because usually what happens 99% of the time, if Michigan State and Duke are after the same player, he's going to Duke. Not this time. So
here's what I have to say on the visit, and I'll quote Xavier. He said the visit was amazing, the atmosphere was great, and there aren't many like it. I love the MSU program. I can definitely see myself and fitting into their program and their coaching style. I have a great relationship with the coaches, which is big for me. I like how they let their players play their own game and don't limit them, which I find interesting, but
that's exactly what Tom Izzo's accused of.
Yes, that's quite the opposite.
Right.
It's not what you hear often about Tom, and I think for any player, I really believe this, going to a Tom Izzo is so beneficial for you. You truly understand basketball. This AAU, me concept. Yeah, you know what? There are the cases where you make it all the way into your top 5 pick. And then you get to the NBA and you have no idea how to play. And you look nothing like you looked in college. And nothing like you looked like in high school. It happens more often than it doesn't. And that's one of my biggest praises of the move and the commitment is he's going to get coached. There's not enough coaches in basketball right now. There's a lot of cheerleaders.
Maybe this guy, Xavier, is different than the other guys because I don't think players having a full appreciation of playing for Tom Izzo until after they leave. Because I'm sure there's times where he's on their ass and they're like, damn, really? And then when they become a junior or maybe late sophomore, they're like, hey, you know what? Now I understand where he's coming from. But when you're getting chewed out earlier, then it doesn't register for you. I'll tell you a conversation I had with Judd Heathcote. He was rough too on players. He told me he would sit a young man in his office and he would say 19 good things about his game. And he would mention 1 or 2 things he needs to work on or that the coach wasn't happy with. Every time that player walked out, that player only remembered the things the judge used to get on his case about. he didn't remember the 19 praises he said about him. He only remembered this guy said, my defense is lacking in half court. My half court defense is bad. So then he's stewing and he's all pissed off and everything. And Judd said he doesn't remember all the good stuff I said about him. And I'm sure that's the same with Tom Izzo. That he says a lot of stuff, good stuff, but he will get in your ass big time.
I think it's such a big deal for Michigan State, right? They've been writing them off, really have been, and that's his second top 40 recruit in the 23 class. I'm happy for Tom. I really am. Tom's one of the good guys in town. He really is.
He is, but we heard his like 10 years ago that top recruits are not going to go there. He's too rough, that his time is past. I don't think that's the case.
What does that mean? He's too tough. What, he coaches you? Like,
right. That's why Bob Knight lost a lot of players.
You know, it's funny. It's really funny to me that, you know, as a 18-year-old highly touted prospect, and let's be honest here, most of them are now going through AAU, and all they know is fast break, lob it up, dunk, chuck up threes, me. You're not being taught how to play.
You got a profile too.
I mean, you have. Let's not even get to that. It's crazy to me, and again, everyone has their own cup of tea. But if I was a top prospect, Tom Izzo would be very appealing, more so than another school where I wouldn't be coached as hard and I'd average 27 a night. I'd rather average 20 or 21 a night and play team-oriented basketball and be around a coach who's going to actually help me get better. So that when I go to the league, I'm ready. That is such a factor I don't think we consider anymore.
That's true. That's why I thought Imani Bates and Tom Izzo would be a bad fit. Because Imani Bates, the kid from Ypsilanti, not only did he play AAU ball, but his high school team essentially was an AAU team. It's created by his father. And when you look at his game, can he play? Yes. But when you look at his game, it's a very selfish game. And if he had gone to Michigan State, Tom Izzo would have changed a lot of things in his game to make it more team-oriented. I think there would be huge friction between those two. Or, should I say, Tom Izzo and Imani Bates' team, which involves his father and stuff like that.
Yeah, again, this is a whole different fundamental problem with what's going on with the NCAA. If we could switch a little bit, I think it brings up a bigger problem, which is the governing of NIL. There isn't any, right?
It's gotten out of control.
It was supposed to be name, image, and likeness. Now it's become, well, we could just buy recruits. And that's different in every state. It doesn't apply. It's not the same everywhere else. In some states, you can do more. In some states, you can do less. And what I'm seeing is just another failure on the NCAA's part. They could have done this 6-7 years ago, and we would be in a much better place than we are now.
If they did it correctly 6 or 7 years ago. You know who's going to suffer now?
The players will.
The bag man.
The bag man. Well, I'm not.
The bag man is the guy that used to pay the players, wink, wink, to get them to go to the school. You don't need the bag man anymore. Or the bag man now is a millionaire and is paying guys big money for name, image, and likeness. The bag man who has a few $1,000s or a few $100s, he's not needed anymore. A lot of schools have bag men.
I mean, boosters are integral at this point.
Right.
But I think a governing law body, some formality would help a ton, along with financial literacy courses. Still nothing that's not being talked about enough, in my opinion. I don't know how, as an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, in some cases, I'm supposed to be prepared for, here's $250,000 just to commit to our university. Mm-hmm. And there's another 500 or 750 waiting for you when you play out your 2-3 years here. That's wild to me.
a 17, 18-year-old is going to go blow through that money and have nothing to show with it. That's the next story that's going to be coming out in a couple years. Hey, Joe Schmo got paid $250,000. Now he's a sophomore and he's got no money. Why? Wasn't shown how to use that money. Wasn't shown responsibility. That's the next story that's going to come out with this NIL stuff.
I like to be a bit optimistic sometimes. I like to believe that Amani Bates at Michigan State would have been a home run had he and his camp been willing to accept coaching, accept criticism.
That's
an individual issue. That's an individual issue. But what I see in Amani Bates is an abundance of talent. He was considered the next Kevin Durant. Now he's playing up at Eastern. And Tom Izzo's sitting there laughing, landing Xavier Booker while Amani Bates is playing at Eastern Michigan. Like, for me, that just sums up the world we're living in. Is sometimes people, and everybody at home, sometimes you have to eat a certain amount of shit to get where you want to go.
Amani Bates
James and his camp needed to be everywhere and involved in everything, and his father included. And again, it's just a fundamental issue.
That's why they wasn't going to fly at Michigan State.
Of course not. Guys, life advice, and Terry, you can speak on this pretty damn well. You have to struggle. There are no success always. It's not how it works. You don't just success all your life. It's not how this works, right? Peyton Manning, all his life, was a winner. High school, Tennessee, he was a winner.
But
got to the NFL.
Even at Tennessee, he was expected to win a national title. He did not. They won it the next year with T. Martin as quarterback. Come on.
We're Michael Jordan, LeBron took 8 years to win a champion. Like, I don't want to have to run through a list of adversity, but you have to accept struggling, accept coaching, accept learning. Because if you don't, you will never grow, you will never get better. And for a player as talented as Amani Bates to pass on Tom Izzo and that foundational structure that he could have gotten there, that he is clearly missing right now, Xavier Booker and Tom Izzo are laughing at him. Like, dude, you would have been a top 10 pick in the NBA draft this year had you come here. Look at you now playing at Eastern. What'd you do? Why? For a couple $100,000? You could have made hundreds of millions in the NBA. And you passed on that because you wanted it to be about you, and you wanted to be cool, and you wanted to party, and you wanted to make the money, and you wanted your dad and your crew and your clique to all be a part of it.
See, I don't think it was as much about the party. It's just that this is my game. I want to showcase my game. This is more about me. And that just does not fly in East Lansing. It doesn't fly in a lot of places. Obviously didn't fly in Memphis either.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we will discuss Amani Oruwariye and whether or not he's set for another breakout season. Will he be even better than last season? And, of course, we'll get to Michigan State. And will they be able to catch up to Ohio State in recruiting? All that and more next. But before we go, Fish, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Oh, boy. Summertime is here. It's ending in a month. Might cry. And that means spending more time outside. Let Guardian Alarm give you peace of mind while you're outside enjoying the lovely sunshine of 90 degrees coming up this week. It's fine. Just call the great number of 1-800-STAY-OUT today, and you can rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection with your home. You can also use one of these lovely smartphones to do that as well. That is 1-800-STAY-OUT. All of Europe, you guys suck. Get better next year. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you today.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry Foster, myself, Fish, Alex Westfall joining us this morning. Maddie will be with Darren McCarty for the next 2 days out at his golf outings.
Okay, all right.
So that'll be fun. We'll get some exclusive content there.
Mondays without Maddie are
And
maddening.
Mondays and Tuesdays without Maddie are I wouldn't say maddening. I would say fun.
Okay.
Wow.
I would trade Maddie for a sack of potatoes in a
Oh
second.
boy. Don't let him know you said that.
Speaking of sack of potatoes, look what we have here in the Maddie chair.
Hey.
Oh, God. All right, Terry, I want to start Michigan State.
Yes.
Will they and can they catch up to Ohio State in recruiting?
They cannot.
Ever. Wow.
And I believe this. Ohio State is the only SEC team in the Big Ten. And the SEC does things differently. I think Michigan is still has a lot of integrity. They're not going to sell their soul for a recruit like they will at Ohio State. You have to understand, recruiting isn't always on the up and up. And I don't think Michigan and Michigan State are willing to go to the mat like Ohio State is. Another thing is, I went to Ohio State for a game or something, met some guys, and they showed me and some other writers what recruits go through at Ohio State as opposed to Michigan and Michigan State. And after going through that, I'm like, dude, unless I'm in love with Michigan and Michigan State, there's no way in hell that I'm going to Michigan State over Ohio State after what I saw. I just think that recruiting's dirty. I don't think Michigan and Michigan State are willing to go to the extent that Ohio State is. I don't think they're ever going to catch him.
So I'll say this. I do think Michigan State can. I do. I think with the enthusiasm, with the level of branding and marketing that Mel Tucker has brought to Michigan State, let's say he's there 8 more years, I think they catch up at one point. I do. Which year? I don't know. I really don't.
But
because a lot of it.
Stop. Will it be for a year or will it be on a consistent basis?
I don't think you can catch up on a 1-year basis. I think that's a legitimate build, right? That's something that you establish for the long term. Michigan has a huge brand. They've always been in the top 15, top 20 in recruiting, right? They don't have an issue. But your goal is to be in the top 3, the top 5, the top 7. Consistently. That's where Ohio State always is. Can they do that? I do think so. Michigan showed signs of it under Jim Harbaugh. They did. They had multiple top 5 recruiting classes. I think the highest at one point was either 3 or 4. They got up there.
Doesn't Michigan do that just about every year?
Not necessarily, no. They're somewhere between 7, 11, 15, and 20, depending on a certain year. Hell, Harbaugh's first year, they were 29th.
But the first year, it's unfair to judge somebody.
I know, but I'm just in context. It does matter. Ryan Day didn't miss a beat though when Urban left, right? Granted, he took over a winning. I know, but winning is. He was born on third, but it does matter. I think Michigan State is more set up currently with how they operate to catch Ohio State. But what I will say is, if Michigan decides, which it. Quote unquote behind the scenes they are committing to NIL. If Michigan decided today, fuck you Ohio State, fuck you Michigan, fuck you Michigan State, we're here We're not playing games anymore. Bring the Brinks truck. Bring the marketing. Bring the social media. Bring it all. We're done. F the academics. Here we are.
But they're not going to do that.
I'm just saying, if they do, they are more capable, in my opinion, Michigan is, than Michigan State and Ohio State combined in terms of their potential recruiting. They could blow them out of the water if they chose to do it the way Ohio State's doing it now, in my opinion.
Okay.
But that
they
also
could blow
comes in,
Michigan State out the water, but not Ohio State.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the one thing they're missing if they do it. The one thing you could tell me, hey, Adam, well, here's one problem with your argument. It would be the style of play. And I think that really matters. Would I rather go to Ohio State as a wide receiver or Michigan?
Ohio State.
Would I rather go to Ohio State as a running back or Michigan?
I think that's a toss-up.
I've seen Ezekiel Elliott get drafted high. Hassan
Sure.
Haskins was a 6th round pick. Donovan Edwards may be the next one that goes high. Maybe even Blake
Let's
Corum.
see where he goes.
We'll see. But as of right now, data tells me Ohio State. Quarterback, Ohio State. Offensive lineman, it's a toss-up. Both have had very successful offensive linemen come out. All right, let's be fair. Defensive lineman, outside of Aiden, and let's see, over the past few years, you've had Kwity Paye. You've had a few players come out in the first round. So has Ohio State. So I'll say it's fair.
Mm-hmm.
The secondary, Dax Hill, Jeff Okudah, more recently.
I think that's a toss-up.
Right? So, but the key sexy positions that win you in football, right? Quarterback, wide receiver, those are in Ohio State's hands right now. And if you ever tell me that Michigan becomes a school that is friendly to quarterbacks, friendly to receivers, I think their brand could outdo Ohio State's if they implement that program correctly. But they have to adopt a whole new set of ways, right? Ways of playing, ways of recruiting. Can Jim Harbaugh, Mr. Bo Schembechler's disciple, the son of Michigan, can he do it? I don't think so. So that's why I say Michigan State is more capable.
I don't think he wants to do it.
I don't think they want to do it either.
They don't.
I think it's a core fundamental issue at the university. So that's why I answer I think Michigan State can do it. Because we're seeing what Mel Tucker's doing. It's in front of me. I can see it. What's the major headline we have seen in the last 4 weeks from Michigan State? Owen? What is the major headline you've seen? What have you seen Mel Tucker in the news for?
Well, like the cars, the goats. You know, we've got these dogs in the field. They're breeding all these different animals to get out there. But I think like the simple answer to your question of can these two teams catch up to Ohio State, it just all matters if it's all money. Like money is the biggest thing.
And what has Jim Harbaugh been in the news for?
Not having that money.
No?
He's still working on it. But
no, that's what we've been talking about.
Right.
His abortion comments and getting ready for Big Ten Media Day in football. While Mel Tucker's out there recruiting at a level that Michigan is not in terms of social media appeal, brand. I'm sorry, you're going to get lapped pretty soon. And sooner than you think if you keep going about it this way.
I would say, like, the craziest story that I've heard for recruiting, Peyton Kirkland. He's an offensive tackle for 2023 4-star. He had a top 5 graphic and everything, and including Michigan State. Bama was on there as well. And he was getting ready to commit. He gets a call from Texas. We'll give you close to $1 million to come to Texas. Boom. Doesn't even have to visit there, and he's going to Texas. That right there just shows that money's all that matters now. You could have the coolest facilities, you could have the coolest social media. It just doesn't matter. These kids don't care. It's all about, like, if you're choosing between a job where you get paid $100K and $200K, which one are you going to go to? Probably the $200K one, because you're going to make more money. That's just what it is right now. And if it's not working out in that situation, then you can transfer. That's the biggest thing Michigan State, all these recruits that they're losing out on at the moment, they're telling them, hey, we'll see you in the transfer portal after. So it's all about that money at the moment for NIL.
Yeah, you have to understand, a lot of these kids, not all of them, but a lot of them, come from lower than middle class families.
Right.
They gotta help mama. They gotta help dad. They gotta help uncle and auntie and stuff like that. So, yeah, money talks, and it's huge.
Money talks, and so does kids. I mean, guys, we were all 18 years old, 17. You just wanted to be one of the cool kids.
Right.
You wanted to hang out with the cool kids. You want it to be cool. You want it to dress cool. You want it to be around everything. You want it to be at the parties. That's how you recruit. Outside of you're going to play here, good football program, we're going to teach you the fundamentals of life that you're going to need, whatever you can take it in your future, whatever the standard pitch is. That's the reality.
When I went up to East Lansing this past weekend, all these kids are driving really nice sports cars. They all got really cool chains. Like Jaden Reed had the JR1 chain. Like the money that these kids are getting is insane. I wish I had that sort of money when I was in college, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's where we're at now. And I see one school adopting it, like Ohio State did, and I see another school just sitting there like, we're Michigan. That's why you should come here. I find that very ignorant, and I don't think that's a sustainable product.
Doesn't work anymore.
I just don't. You went 18 years without winning a Big Ten. And we sit here and act like you've dominated the last 2 decades. Like that's how it's spoken about. And I get it. Michigan's a huge brand. I want Michigan to be successful. It's better for me, better for college football. But can't go about it this way and have success long term. When we get back, Owen's bucket list of games that he wants to attend. Very interested to see what happens there. And then we'll get to Are Things Different this time with the Detroit Lions regime. Is it finally time to get it done? We'll get to that and more. But before we go, Fish, could you tell everybody at home about Big Boy?
Oh boy, lovely friends at Big Boy Ciabatta Summer Salads, hand dip shakes, all at Big Boy. Try the chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, sunrise, ham and cheddar, all on our grilled ciabatta breads, or keep it light with the Michigan apple, chicken Caesar salad, or Greek salad. Don't forget to cool off on a nice summer day with a hand-dipped cookies and cream shake or a strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got bigger at Big Boy. Better at Big Boy? Better at Big Boy. Can't read today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Alrighty. Happy August, everybody. But hey, you know it's August, but you can still get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt at Big Frog in Novi. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Novi. Just stop in, tell them Woodward Sports sent you, and they'll put you a Woodward Sports t-shirt on the spot right then and there with their lovely printing presses. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get a free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry Foster joined by Owen. Owen, you put together a list.
I did.
A top 10 list, a bucket list of games you would want to attend?
In 2022, yes. So just
for this upcoming season.
Just this upcoming season,
I like
yes.
it. Mm-hmm. I like it. All right, break it down for us. Alex, when you can, please throw it up on the screen. Owen, convince me why I should agree with this list.
Okay, so number 10, of course, you got MSU at Michigan. I had to slide that in there. Just a little bit of bias. You know, I'm excited for that game. I'm going to be there. That's the one game on this list that I'll be there for. Bama at Tennessee. I want to be in that crowd singing Rocky Top. That crowd is electric. There are some diehard fans there. Bama's a big rival for Tennessee as well. I put them at 9. 8, LSU at Texas A&M. Also a big kind of rivalry game. The 12th man there. That's also an electric crowd that I would want to be a part of, especially there's rumors that could be a night game as well. That would be awesome. And then 7, Florida at Georgia, another rivalry game. Sanford Stadium, a fun place to be at. Who knows this year? AR-15 going to be in the building. Hopefully he's healthy at the time. But Georgia, reigning champions, I would want to go see them in person. Then at 5, I got Texas A&M at Bama. The chirping has already started between Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. That just shows right there. Like, I want to be at that game. Last year, Texas A&M upset Alabama. Bama's not going to let that happen again. I want to be at that game. Number 4, of course, you got the whiteout, Minnesota at Penn State. That would be an electric crowd. That's a bucket list game right there. You always want to go to a whiteout game at some point in your life. Number 3, Red River, Oklahoma versus Texas, neutral site game, of course. But those two teams, every time they play, it's always a close game. And then number 2, Auburn at Alabama. Not much to be said right there. The Iron Bowl. That's always a lot of fun, a lot of stakes as well. Who knows where Bama will be in that situation. And then number 1, Michigan at Ohio State. The shoe is going to be rocking. I cannot wait for that game. I think Ohio State takes that one, but who knows? Michigan wins that game. That just changed everything because you have this worst recruiting class, these worst players, you lose a bunch of guys, and now you just won back-to-back years. That changes the whole narrative.
Let me challenge you or discuss with you one.
Mm-hmm.
How can you have Alabama A&M after Minnesota and Penn State, after all the chirping with Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban, and then those are two higher profile programs. Why is that behind?
Two words, whiteout. That's the only thing I got for you there. I just like the whiteout every single year, never disappoints. That just bucket. I feel like on everyone's bucket list, that should be top 5 at least. Like that game, that atmosphere, that's the best in college football.
I think you're missing one game on that list.
Let's hear it.
Army-Navy.
See, but that's just, it's fun but at the same time it's like boring. It's just
I know the product's boring, but the atmosphere.
I tell you what, I would not have that on my list either.
No.
There's some people that's a top 5 every year they got to go, but I don't want to see boring football.
It is. It's hard-nosed football, but at the same time, it's not very exciting. All those other games, it's SEC. They're going to be going back and forth, scoring nonstop. That's the kind of football I like, honestly.
That's super interesting. What I'd say is number 1, you nailed 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan at Columbus this year. That's the game. It's referred to as
the
game.
game. Mm-hmm.
It's literally the game, man. That's the game. The Michigan State at Michigan. I don't know about that. Not this year. Last year we were blessed to have both teams 7-0 in October, end of October. Great game, great match.
Yeah, but both teams are projected to win 9 or 10 games. It's a rivalry. They don't like each other. I think that's always an exciting game to go to. I can understand
Michigan heading into the Michigan State game, just from looking at the schedule now. They're going to start the year either 5-1 or 6-0, and then they are home to Penn State, which I'd like to imagine they will win, but they did beat Penn State last year. Penn State looking to avenge their home loss to Michigan from last season. So they got Iowa and Penn State. Those are the 2 games that you have to say, all right, let's see if they win. But let's say I give them the benefit of the doubt, and they start 7-0. Well, you go to Michigan State's schedule, and they open up against Western, and then Akron, and then Washington, and Minnesota, and Maryland. They're 5-0. They're likely starting 5-0, but hey, it's football, right? But then they get Wisconsin and Ohio State. So that matchup is going to be a 6-1 team versus a likely 5-2 team. Likely. Could be 6-1 matchups. Could be.
But that's still exciting because they're rivals and
It wouldn't make my top 10 for this season. The only way it's a top 10er is if Michigan State beats Ohio State and Wisconsin. Back-to-back home games. If they win both those games, oh my God. And I'll tell you why. That sets up as a disaster game for Michigan. Because if Michigan wins, or let's say Michigan loses, all right? But they beat Ohio State, and Michigan State drops a game towards the end of the year. And they're both one-loss teams. Well, then Michigan State gets in. And vice versa for Michigan State. They lose that game to Michigan, and they run the table the rest of the way. But so do Michigan. Michigan gets in. That's a tricky spot. So, Michigan State's got a tough first 7 games, man. They got Minnesota at home. They're on the road to Maryland, which is a team that can put up points. You have home to Ohio State. That's a tough one. I'll probably be at that game. And then home to Wisconsin. That's all leading up to Michigan on October 29th.
They could still be 6-1 with a loss to Ohio State.
Yes.
The one stat that made me put that game as number 10 for me, 2-0. That's all I got to say. Yep.
Mel Tucker against Jim Harbaugh. I like it. I like it. I don't mind it at all. Well done. I'll respect the list.
Okay.
Not bad. Better than I thought it would be. How about that?
What'd you think? What other games would be on there?
Honestly, I mean, the fact that you only had one Florida game on that list and it wasn't even at Florida, that was disappointing.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about the Swamp.
The Swamp is a must visit, right? I mean, there's even
Jordan Hare was on my list at 1.2.
I mean, you're gonna want to go to a Trojan game,
but there's no crowd there. Their attendance is not good.
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you,
not good.
West Coast football, it's just different.
Yeah, it's good, but the fans don't show up.
The fans don't care.
No.
Not as much, especially USC,
UCLA,
Stanford. I mean, I went to Stanford, UCLA. No, it was Stanford, USC.
Yeah, it should be a great matchup.
People left at halftime, and it was a 6-point game.
What time was the game? Was it a day game or a night game?
It's a day game.
Okay.
Nice weather.
Yeah.
They just don't care.
Yeah, they want to tailgate, watch the first half, and go shopping or go to the bar and drink.
SEC football, that's a religion down there.
Oh, yeah.
Notre Dame, USC was the only one I would consider on that list, to put a bucket list. But just because of their crowd.
Are they at Notre Dame this year or USC?
They're at USC, and that was a deal breaker for me. It's just
skip it. Yeah.
It's I don't know. Obviously, it would be a good game, but just for crowd-wise and everything.
Why didn't you put Notre Dame, Ohio State on that list?
I was thinking about it, too. Okay. I already have one game at the shoe, but I want to put a bunch of SEC games because that's where I want to go down there.
You a guy that plays video games?
Yeah, some.
All right. Next July, college football returns?
Yes.
Is that something you're excited about?
Oh, hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
What can we expect? They're going to F this up?
I think they'll do a great job. I mean,
their Madden series sucks, so I'm not sure why I should put any faith.
Right. I feel like they're getting creative, though. I already saw they were doing some stuff with Jaden Reed with, the censor stuff, so they have his celebrations down, and that would be fun. Every single college football team is supposed to be in the game, is what I've heard.
I believe 10 to 12 are currently out of it as of now, but they will. They said they're committing to having every FBS team in there.
Hey, that's all I need, honestly.
Yeah.
I really care about
right now, I think the
FCS.
only high-profile schools that are missing are Clemson and Notre Dame, last I checked.
I feel like they'll get them on.
They better. They better not mess this up.
Yeah.
You have one chance to debut that type of game.
Yeah, it's going to be hopefully awesome. I think it will, at least.
We'll see. I was telling Fish that's a game I'd pick up.
Yeah, for sure.
I would make time for that.
What system do you have?
I have an Xbox.
Nice. The 360, the one... The newer one.
You guys should work out when it first comes out.
Laughing?
You guys should have just a game day of you guys playing the game. If you could somehow get it early and kind of debut it for people, I think that'd be a lot.
Yeah, get somebody who can really play it.
Yeah, I mean, not the most talented people here.
Just like the PS3 and the PS4 and the PS5, different gaming consoles.
I have a Series X.
Nice.
For the Xbox.
Nice.
Now, thinking smaller, I want to see a game at Fair State.
I would rather die.
They won a national championship, and they're supposed to be good again this year. I'm just curious to see what a game day is like there.
Why not Wayne State?
Huh?
Not Wayne State?
I've been to Wayne State.
Okay.
Would you rather go to Army versus Navy or Fair State?
I'd rather go to break.
But that's easy for
when
him.
we get back,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
When we get back, are things different this time? Will this Detroit Lions regime finally do it? We'll get to that and more. But before we do, Fish, the Academy of War.
Yes, sir. Brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation-sized basketball court, volleyball court, and a soccer field. It can also be used for 7-on-7 football. It is the lovely folks at Academy of Warren, K-8, that features AM and PM latchkeys, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, food, breakfast, and lunch, and K-8 athletics. Enroll today at lovelyacademyofwarren.net today.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, guess what starts this week? NFL preseason. That's where we get all kinds of fun coupons when the NFL season starts, and we're going to start getting ready for your fantasy draft. So make sure you're checking us out at 4:30 at the Woodward Bets YouTube page. You also got to make sure you check out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, the best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get some fun coupons. We know that's all we want. Listen, we're rolling with Max today. Max has been pitching well. Listen, we're going to take the Mets minus a run and a half. Oddstrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Terry?
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of optimism in town, and I think most of it rightly so. Are things different this time with this football team? And will this regime, and if you want to offer more context to it and say, well, it depends, be my guest. I'll let you explain your side, but is this finally it? Have we seen the final evolution of all the crap leading up to this? These people in charge, they're the ones that will find a way to deliver success.
They will deliver success. They will deliver optimism. I just don't think it's going to happen this year.
Oh, I agree.
I think they'll come close. And at the end of this year, you'll look at them and say, okay, I can see the path to a winning season. I can see the path to a division title. I can see the path. But, you know, the enthusiasm or the optimism is not just coming from Detroit Lion players and coaches and fans. It's coming from the national perspective. With those 3 ingredients, maybe it is different, because every year Lion players are optimistic. Every year they give us this crap about how they're going to win and stuff like this, and the fans are right in lockstep. But now you're getting a national narrative. People who don't care what the Lions do, they want to see this team play. And I think, unless they fall flat on their ass at the beginning, I think you're going to see more national coverage of the Detroit Lions. A, because of Hard Knocks. B, because of Dan Campbell. And C, there's already a narrative, if they start well, that the same old Lions might be dead. That the old Lions mindset might be dead. And so I think people are going to investigate that to see if that's the case.
I think it is different. And I'm going to point to 2 people. Because these are the 2 people I feel so far have proven the most. And that's been Sheila as an owner, hands off, allowing football people to make football decisions. Mm-hmm. But also understanding what her building needs to look like, what it needs to feel like, sound like, a culture that is important. Brad Holmes, the sole operator, the decision maker. There is a clear decision maker now. We're not having this conversation of, well, what does the coach want? What does the GM want? What does the owner want? Brad Holmes, at the end of the day, makes all the decisions. And get used to that. And he's so far made a lot of really good ones. Dan Campbell? Is he part of the regime that delivers a division title? I can say I hope so, but I don't have to commit to that. I think regardless, Brad Holmes will deliver you a division title. Minimum. I think you get a division title out of Brad Holmes. Whether it's with Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, a future quarterback, a future coach? I don't know. But I'm willing to put my money on Brad Holmes delivering success. I think already the greatest GM the Lions have ever had. The way he's shown how he can operate in the draft, in free agency, managing the salary cap. That matters. And I think he's going to build a winner here.
Can I massage you on one thing?
Go for it.
Stop saying you think he's the best GM in Lions history.
Excuse me, I know he is.
He is the best GM in Lions history. Be definitive. Be strong. Be a man.
Yeah.
Brad Holmes is
the greatest GM in Detroit Lions history.
Bam!
Yeah, but I don't feel good saying that.
Why?
Because that's how fucking bad everyone else has been.
But is it true?
Yes.
Okay. Because tell me who else challenges him.
Nobody.
Bam. So Adham, next time you're on this thing, say Brad Holmes is the greatest GM in Lions history. Period. Shut up. That's what I'm thinking. Instead of, well, guys, I think Brad Holmes might be maybe possibly the best GM in Lions history.
Let me wrap it up then. I'll repackage it for you. You ready for this, Terry?
I'm ready. Clear that throat.
Got to clear the throat.
Give me something.
Terry Foster.
Yes, sir.
There's not a doubt in my mind that the guy in charge of the Detroit Lions currently, Brad Holmes, is the greatest GM in Detroit Lions history.
Good job.
Much better?
Now, it is much better. Now, next time we're on this, maybe 4 or 5 days from now, you got to do the same thing. I don't want to hear, well, you know, I think Brad Holmes on every Tuesday might be the best GM in Lions history. I think maybe possibly. In 4 or 5 days or a month or whatever we talk about this, I need that from you.
You got it. I'll bring the same energy every single time.
Please
We're going to take a break. When we get back, Mailbag. Coming up, get all of your questions in the chat. Myself, Terry, will answer any questions you have this morning, whether it's on Xavier Booker, committing to Michigan State, whether it's on the whole college football concept, the Detroit Lions, Amani Oruwariye, whatever it may be.
Or
we'll get
Adam's
to it.
fun bun.
Or Adam, oh man, God help me with that one.
Or the man bun.
God help me with that one. But before we go, I got to tell you about where I'll be after the show today, and that's at Planet Fitness. Working out, home of the judgment-free zone. Your fitness is essential. Get started today. $0 down, $10 a month at any local Planet Fitness near you. Sign up also at planetfitness.com. And as always, please take your physical health seriously. Visit a Planet Fitness near you.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Alta, at Alta, Uptime Matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the big project done. You have a big project coming up? Call up Alta Rents today. They have you covered. Go to call 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. 844-GO-TO-ALTA today at Alta Uptime Matters.
All right, we're going to start with the first question from Nicholas. Hard Knocks watch parties and when? Watch parties to be determined, but after Hard Knocks, there will be a live stream every single night after Hard Knocks appears, where we'll have the team react, share their thoughts to the actual episode.
I'm pushing for a watch party for the inaugural show. We should all be together, watch that, and feed off each other.
We're working on it. We're working on it. Are you guys going to do watch parties for some of the college football games this fall? We're going to have college football game day shows on Saturday, so that's going to be fun. Watch parties, we'll see. We'll see. Depends on the game. Maybe the Michigan State and a Michigan-Ohio State game, but we'll be down in Columbus and we'll be in Ann Arbor for the other. So
good luck,
it's going to be a little bit tricky. I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, the watch party will only work for Michigan State and Michigan-Ohio State. I think the rest of it would be duds. Not enough people will show up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mailbag, is it surprising to y'all that Xavier Booker committed to MSU with NIL not being the major focus of his recruitment?
I am a little surprised simply because guys like that, when Duke is on the radar, they usually go to Duke. So that's why I'm surprised. The NIL thing doesn't surprise me. But Michigan State just doesn't get these guys. And now Tom Izzo is getting one, and then if he gets, maybe that's leading to a second or third such recruit like this. So we'll see. So yes, I am surprised, but not for that reason.
All right, I'm not surprised at all. I love Tom Izzo. I think he's fantastic. So I'm really happy for the Michigan State program. If Avila is not fired, does Hinch come back next year? That's irrelevant. He's not getting fired, and Hinch will be back next year, and I think that'll be his last year. If Stafford was still the Lions quarterback, what would be their record? Just curious.
Last season?
This year.
Oh, this year.
I'd say 11-6. 11-6.
No, dude, really? Stop it.
Yeah, I think 11-6.
You have drank the Kool-Aid.
I think over 7 wins.
I have them winning 7 to 8 games. They bring in a franchise quarterback who just won the Super Bowl, who just took a team that won 10 games the year prior, won 12 of them, and then went on a Super Bowl.
He wouldn't have won a Super Bowl if he had stayed with the Lions.
Yeah, I'm not telling you they're winning a Super Bowl.
No,
but I expect them to win 2-3 more games.
No, brother. If he was the quarterback of the Lions this season, he wouldn't have gone to L.A. and won a Super Bowl. He would still be the Lions quarterback, a little bit frustrated. And we'd still be dogging him, saying that
if you get the Matthew Stafford right now, who's experienced what he has in L.A., and you bring him to this football team this season, they win 2 or 3 more games.
You're a little hard-headed.
Yeah, he doesn't,
bro,
he doesn't
listen
get
to
it,
this.
Terry.
If he were the quarterback this year, he wouldn't have gone to L.A. He wouldn't have won a Super Bowl. He would still be in year 13 and 14 as Lions quarterback. So all this stuff that we saw last year would not have happened. I think they'd win 8 games.
Even
yes.
All right. Yeah. I have no words. You know what? Speaking of Al Avila, are you guys ready for the trade deadline? Anybody? Anybody's excited as I am? No?
Don't
Really?
start
Why?
one.
Why a tough crowd out here? What are we doing?
What am I excited for?
What do you mean, man? Al's gonna get on the phone.
All right, squat for us.
He's gonna put every single team and their GM on speaker, right? He's gonna get them all in a conference call.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Al Avila, your
You're not
GM
squatting?
of the Detroit Tigers.
There you go.
Now let me tell you, we're gonna shop everybody. So if anybody wants to art Scooble, all I'm asking for in advance is a $500 gift card to Gap and a free, I don't know, fitness membership because I'm out of shape.
He doesn't want the baby Gap?
That's no, not Baby Gap, not Baby Gap. That's mean fish.
You know what he should get for Tiger Scooble? He should get one of those mixers from what's the place, the hamburger place, the ice cream from the Culver's.
Oh, Culver's. Okay.
Yeah, you should get a mixer from Culver's.
Very confused.
But you know, here's the thing. I know Adam is having fun because he's a fun guy.
Yeah.
But if you can't get anything for Justin Verlander and J.D. Martinez, how you gonna get something for Tiger Scooble?
Al Avila is gonna figure it out.
I guess
We're
so.
getting nothing. I bet you he doesn't get traded. He doesn't get traded.
Yeah.
They're not gonna move him.
And I think you know what Al's gonna say.
I tried my best.
He's gonna remember how he got raped with these other trades. He'll just keep them and say, you know what, we couldn't get what we thought was
market value
for Tyreek Scuba, so we're just gonna keep him.
Yeah, you know what? They only offered us a year's supply of Gatorade. We wanted 3. Couldn't make the deal.
They'll give up Robbie for cash. That's about it. Maybe
Yeah.
a
Or-
pump piece.
They only gave us the yellow Gatorade, not the red.
What success would make you happy? Not being realistic. I'm not understanding your question. Winning the division? I think winning the division should be the goal. When you win the division, you're telling me that you are the best team in your division for a given year. You also tell me you're one of the 4 best teams in the conference, and that you are likely a favorite going into the playoffs to win your playoff game, and you will be hosting a playoff game. That's what you tell me when you win your division.
Yeah.
So I think you start with the division before we talk about Super Bowl, NFC Championship. How about you start with the division?
Home playoff games in football are a lot of fun.
They're a lot of fun, and they're an advantage. They just are. I believe the number is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's either 66 or 68%. That's how often you win when you host a playoff game. I'll take those odds.
Even the Lions are 50% in home playoff games.
Oh, God. I think that's where you start. I really do. Let's see what other questions we have in the chat. Excuse me if I've missed your questions. Can Terry take fish to get a Kangol?
I can.
What the hell is that?
It's a hat.
Oh, is that what that is?
No, this is not a Kangol. Kangol is a different style. It's like the Paperboy hat.
Oh,
that you
the
can wear
little flat
forward
cap?
or backwards.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can take him there. I don't know if they have extra small Kangols, though. That's the thing.
I don't know if my head's terribly small, though. I can fit in normal size. Like, I'd probably be able to fit. Should I try that on right now?
Yeah, put it on.
Okay.
I think if Fish put on even a medium Kango, you couldn't see his eyes. It would just come down all over his face. But that's not a Kango, but let's see.
Well, you just want to see if
I know,
it
let's see
fits.
what it looks like.
Oh, God.
Put it on.
I mean, it works.
All right. That works.
What?
Yeah.
Does it not work?
You know what? You look good in that.
By the way, am I wearing it right? Do I need
You
to
know
like...
you got it backwards.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
See that sexy right there.
I can still see
Yeah, right there.
That's
Now
sexy.
you know,
Fish, that needs to be your Tinder
I'm asking
profile
for his
picture.
number.
You
yeah.
know he looks like a little Dick Tracy.
Fish would fuck 90% of Metro Detroit.
Yeah, he would. Hell yeah.
I'm not a hat guy anyway. Like ball caps. Like, that's why I got burnt as hell yesterday, because I don't wear hats. Hats don't do anything
You should
for me.
wear a hat when you're out in the sun.
I know. Well, I should have got sunscreen is what I should have done.
All
But
right.
I didn't plan.
New
you really put
question.
sunscreen on your head?
Me?
I guess you
No,
did.
but on my face.
Oh, on your
Forehead.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're talking about the back of your head was burnt.
Well, I just pulled the collar up, though, so it was covering my
That's
neck.
a fish
Just
problem.
put it on your
I was one of
neck.
those, like, rednecks.
All right, guys. Question. Who do you think is the front runner to be the new face of the franchise now that Stafford is gone? My money is on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think it's Aiden Hutchinson, and it's like not even close. If you have a premier edge rusher, the only way he gets topped as not the face of the franchise is if you have a franchise quarterback. That's it.
Right.
And we look at the Rams, Aaron Donald's the face of that franchise, not Matthew Stafford.
And let me make
There are
this
exceptions.
make this very boring. I agree with him. It's going to be Aiden Hutchinson.
Joey Bosa, Justin Herbert, right? Nick Bosa, he's the face of the Niners right now. What is it, Trey Lance? He's an unproven rookie. So, edge rusher is the second most important position in football outside of quarterback. That's where my money's at. Aiden Hutchinson, the easy pick, and I think a lock for Defensive Rookie of the Year this year. I'm going to take history to prove me right. 5 of the last 6 pass rushers taken number 2 overall have won the award. All right, guys, that's it. That's it for our show.
All right.
Terry, appreciate you as always. Owen, well done on your list.
Owen.
Fish, way to
Yes,
look
sir.
sexy today. Way to get all the girls wet in the chat.
Yeah.
We're gonna end the show on that. Terry, I'll see you Wednesday.
Okay.
Enjoy yourself. Owen, we'll
sir.
see you tomorrow. Everybody, we'll see you tomorrow. Check out Big D Energy live at 11 o'clock,
Yes.
of course. And you all have a great rest of your day.
You too, Adam.
Yes, sir.